Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Samantha and today I would like to share with you another look using the stunning palette from Makeup Revolution, and it's the Life on the Dance Floor palette and it's called Sparklers. So you've got this lovely black shiny packaging and you've also got the silver sparkles or silver glitter also in there. It has a covering to it so you can't feel any of the glitter, you're not going to lose any of the glitter and it's not going to catch either. The shades in here, now I've already done a look for you a few days ago, and the look that I created, I'm just getting the sheet the right way round. Where is that? There we go. Now I've already created a look using the deeper shades, so this green, these greens here, and yeah, so I've used some of the brighter shades for you. Now I want to share with you how versatile this palette can be and use some of the neutral looks from the top row. So it will show you hopefully how versatile this is, and if you're like me, when I first saw these shades, and usually I keep away from shades like this because I'm more of a neutral eye person, I do tend to do looks with brighter shades, but it's more of your, you know, the red tones and magenta tones and things like that. So I really stepped out of my comfort zone with this palette using the greens. I mean, I'm not really a person that wears a lot of greens, but I thought actually this palette could really work for me, and there's some real standout shades in here. So that green shade there, and it's called, is it Got Back? Got Back. It really did look amazing. So sometimes it's really good to, you know, step out of your comfort zone and try something completely different. And this palette really, really is stunning. Not only are the shades pigmented, they blend really well, as you would have seen in that other video, but of course, you know, it's not a versatile palette if it doesn't have neutrals, and we can also have the brighter looks and also the more neutral looks. So that's what I really want to share with you today. So I'm going to start off with the shade Closer, and in fact I started off with this shade, that shade there, in my other look, and it is absolutely beautiful. Not only is it a peachy shade, but it also has specks of glitter in it, and it's not like one of those eyeshadows where you can see the glitter and then when you put it on your eyes there's no glitter at all. It's not that kind of look. You can really see the glitter and it really sparkles, and that, I must say, is one of the standout neutral shades in this palette. So of course I'm going to be using my Primark brush, and I had a comment on my comments, another video a couple of days ago, from one of my regular viewers saying that this brush has now changed colour. I've been into Primark a few times and yes, I've seen that, and it was blue. So it was still black, but it's blue here now. In the Norwich Primark they still have these ones, but they also now have the blue as well. So I've picked up a couple of those as well to try and to make sure that they are the, you know, the same brush as this, and of course I'll be getting back to you to let you know that they're exactly the same and they work as well, or perhaps not, depending on how, you know, the outcome of that. But for today's video I'm going to be using this one, and I'm going to add a little bit of Closer onto that, and I've got that shade swatched here. So it's a beautiful peachy transitional shade and it just looks beautiful. So I'm just going to pop that in the crease, and of course I'm having the brush point down and just run that across the eye like that, let the brush do all the work, and then take that up a little bit. Now if you can't get to a Primark store, then you can actually pick up one of these tapered or contoured brushes from the Tan Beauty site, and I will link that down below for you. These are £1 from Primark, which is very, very good value, but the Makeup Revolution ones are £1.99 and they're very, very similar. They've got that tapered look. So I have found an alternative for you. Morphe also does brushes that are contoured like this, but I'm going to stick to the Tan Beauty because obviously if I'm talking about Tan Beauty and you're going to purchase this, you can just pop that into your basket as well. And I think the Morphe ones are a little bit more expensive as well. So I'm just going to also run that on the other eye as well, exactly the same. And this is why I like this brush so much as well, because it just works really, really well. So I can now see little specks of glitter. You may not be able to see that, but in reality there's little sparkles, which I absolutely love. I've never ever had a matte eyeshadow that has the specks of glitter that you can see and that then translates onto the eye, because usually for whatever reason you lose that once you pick that onto the brush. So I'm just going to add a little bit more. I mean, that in itself is, you know, if you need to for work purposes or college or school or whatever, not wear too much makeup, then even that shade there is just perfect as it is. I'm going to, while I've got it on the brush, I'm going to run that underneath the lower lash. Just to start off that look there. And not only that, it's going to give me a little bit of glitter, which I love, underneath the eye as well. I mean, to be honest, I would have just got the palette for that shade alone because I love it that much. So that's the first shade. Now, of course, as always, I want to deepen that up a little bit. And the shade that I'm going to do to use that, to do that with is the shade Push It. And it's the one right next to it, and it's that one there. So this is the first one closer. This is Push It. Now I'll just swatch that on my hand as well, so you can see the contrast. So that one is Push It. Closer, Push It. So I'm just getting a little bit of that onto the tip of the brush. Now, bearing in mind that this is a very, very pigmented palette, that's why I've gone with the closer shade once and then gone over it, because these shades are so pigmented. I've only just tapped the brush in and or touched it, and then I've had to tap it off because they are so pigmented. Also, I just want to, while I'm thinking about it, I'll just talk to you about the lipstick that I'm wearing. It's from the Guest List collection, still with the Life on the Dance Floor, and it is called Potential. And I really, really love this vibrant, it's brown but with a hint of red, and it's so rich and so gorgeous. And also I've been testing these lipsticks out for the last week since they were released, and they last and last and last. If you're aware of the Renaissance lipsticks, they last and last, and these really do. They are fantastic and just as good as them, and they're only £3. I did have a question yesterday actually, and I'm going to just mention that while we're on to the topic of lipsticks, is that someone said to me, were those lipsticks free with the palettes? They're not free. There are 3 lipsticks to every palette, so they're within a a collection. So for example, the Sparkless palette I'm using today, there is 3 lipsticks that come within that that collection, and they are still in that black packaging with the glitter on them. They are £3 each. They are not free with the palettes. They are £3, so you do have to buy them. So I thought I'd just mention that while we're on that topic. Now I'm going to add that shade Push It, and I'm just going to add it to the outer third of the eye, and in this area here on the outer part, just to deepen that up. And then I'm just going to blend that across just so that's all blended, and then just take that up. Whoops, I've got a little bit of glitter on my eyelash. Take that up a little bit so it just blends very nicely into that closer shade, and then just take that over. That's beautiful. These shades all match so well together. These palettes have been so well thought of. The whole collection, I just love everything about them. Now, I have seen on a couple of Instagram posts this morning that this palette is it is just not exclusive, it is limited edition. So I haven't had that confirmed personally, but I have seen that it may be limited edition. So they are Christmas palettes, so if you do want these, you may want to get these sooner rather than later to avoid disappointment. But yeah, they're definitely worth it. And on Superdrug, they are 3 for 2. I'm not 100% sure if this one's actually available. I will have a look, and if it is available on Superdrug, of course, I'll link that for you down below. So again, I'm just going to do exactly the same and just take that up a little bit and then over, just to make sure that that's all blended in. And even though I've added a second colour, I can still see the glitter in the original shade. You can still see the intensity of that first shade, and the second shade has just enhanced that first shade. So I really love that. Now I'm getting a little bit of Push It, again still on the tip, and I'm just going to add that on the outer third underneath the eye, just to add again a little bit of depth, and also to match, you know, the depth that we've created on the upper part of the eye. So I'm just going to do that on the other side. So again, that has worked really well. I just love the these eyeshadows. They are so, like I say, so pigmented, and they really do blend out like an absolute dream. Beautiful. Now I went in with the shade COA, and it's this shade here, this one here, and it's quite peachy, but it's also got some pink to it as well, and it really is a stunning shade. So again, I'm going to just swatch that. Now, of course, this is a shimmer shade, and it's that one there. So I'm just going to add that to the lid. And it's one of those shades that if you want to brighten up your eye and make it look really bright, then this is the shade, because it is just stunning. I just love this. Another beautiful shade from this palette, and also it's one of those shades that is very unexpected. So when you first look at this palette, your eyes are drawn to those bright shades, but when you swatch them all, and this is why it is so so good for me to swatch all of these shades, because I can really get a feel of the palette. Sometimes you look at a shade and you think, wow, I'm not really interested in that, and it's not until you swatch it that you think, wow, that is really going to work for me. So I'll just do the other side. And again, with this palette, the shimmer shades are exactly the same as the other palettes. They're very soft, they're very compact, you don't get clumps of product. I mean, I was doing a look the other day, not on camera, and there was a palette that I was using, and I put my finger into the shimmer shade and went like that on the eye, and I just had clumps of shimmer all over my face. Not with this. You pop it on and it just glides onto the eye. I mean, you can use a brush as well, and I'll be swapping over to a brush in a moment, but it just is fantastic. There's no thickness to these, it just glides on. There's no clumps, there's nothing on my face whatsoever. I've had no fallout, and it's just a phenomenal palette. Now, as promised, I'm going to pick up my brush. I don't know why I don't know the name of this brush yet, but it's the Primark PS Pro Shading Eye Brush. And this one is quite pointy. You can use any brush, you don't have to use this one, whatever suits you. And I'm just going to follow that look all the way around. I mean, if you don't like the same shot, no, I'll get it right in a minute, the same shade followed all around the eye. Then obviously you can use your regular champagne shade, whatever you like. But I really like that look. As long as obviously the shade, I can't get my words out today. As long as the shade is light enough to give you some highlight, this is what I like to do, because it just makes the look, you know, more put together. So I'm just going to add a little bit more of that. It is just a stunning, stunning shade. I just love this look. Now I'm going back in with Push It, which was the middle shade that we used, and I'm just going to make sure that everything is deep in this area, not too deep, but you know, deep enough. Obviously you can have it however deep you want, and just make sure that that middle part there is blended, so you don't have, you know, a line all the way through. And I think that is it, and I just love it. So it really shows that yes, this is a brightly coloured palette, but because it's been put together so well, and it's got these neutrals, you've got all of these colours. So if you wanted to now, you could add, I don't know, a pop of colour. So for example, you could go, this could be your day look, and then you could take your palette with you. For example, if you're at work, college, school, whatever you wanted to do, and then if you were going somewhere after, you could then add one of these beautiful shades to this neutral look to give you an evening look. So I think that shows you how versatile this palette is. I love it, and I would love to say that this is my favourite palette from the whole force, you know, the quad that Makeup Revolution have come out with, but I must admit that I really like them all. I've surprised myself. I mean, I thought the one that I was really going to love was the guest list, because that really drew me in with the colours. You've got the reds, you've got the warm tones, but actually the gold palette I'm using a lot. And also I'm using this a lot as well. The silver one, I've got to get into that more, just because I'm drawn to the other three a little bit more. But no, I mean, it's just, they're all stunning. They're all absolutely beautiful palettes, and I really love the lipsticks as well. So I hope that's helped you make up your mind if you wanted to go for this or not. Like I say, it's from tanbeauty.com, and it's £10, which is an absolute bargain for such a brilliant palette. I will do a close-up look of my eye look for you as usual on Instagram, just so that you can see it a little bit more closely. But yeah, I'd really love to know also how you're getting on with that palette, if you've picked it up, if you're intending on picking it up, and just really your thoughts on the eye look and the palette will be most welcomed as always. But thank you so much for watching. Until next time, thank you. Bye.